Why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it?
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke out of you when I see you.
Man, this whole mess with Shannon Sharpe getting slapped with a $50 million lawsuit just hit a whole new level of crazy. Now Katt Williams is jumping in, claiming he tried to warn Shannon this exact nightmare was coming, but Shannon straight up ignored it. When Katt pulled up to Club Shay Shay last year, he didn't hold back. He told Shannon to his face that being a black man in the industry, running wild, losing self-respect, and not having discipline when it comes to bedroom choices could straight up wreck his whole future. Katt made it crystal clear, but Shannon brushed it off like it was nothing. And now, here we are, just like Katt said, Shannon's caught in a wild lawsuit thrown at him by an OnlyFans model claiming he did some heavy foul stuff to her when she was 19 and he was 54. And get this, Shannon even admitted he was into race play with her. Now fans are side-eyeing him hard, saying he totally sabotaged himself and might have just thrown away generational wealth chasing some sick fantasies and reckless behavior. But guess what? It gets even crazier. This $50 million lawsuit just happens to drop right when Shannon was about to lock in a $100 million media deal. Timing's way too shady to ignore. Plus, just a few months ago, word on the street was that Shannon was plotting a part 2 of that Club Shay Shay interview with Katt Williams. Now people are starting to piece it all together, and they're asking the real questions. Is this lawsuit just random, or is somebody out there trying to shut Shannon down for putting Katt on his platform? Some folks are saying it's way too convenient to be a coincidence. And now everyone's wondering, what exactly did Katt warn Shannon about before all this chaos hit? Did Katt really tell him straight up that the gatekeepers would flip his own dirt against him? Shannon had the heads up, but he refused to listen. Let's break it all the way down. The Shannon Sharpe lawsuit just flipped into pure madness, and it's looking more and more like Katt Williams saw the whole disaster coming from way back. Katt supposedly tried to pull Shannon to the side months ago, telling him to clean up his mess, tighten up his crew, and stop giving the big bosses any dirt to use against him. But Shannon didn't want to hear it. Now it's playing out almost exactly how Katt warned it would. And here's the wildest part. If the people upstairs really wanted to take Shannon down, they didn't even have to look hard. Shannon basically handed them the dirt on a silver platter. Just check those freaky texts Shannon himself dropped, showing his accuser talking about degrading him with some twisted race play. We're talking about a 54-year-old man letting a 19-year-old OnlyFans model treat him like some messed up fantasy. Now fans are speaking up loud, calling it exactly what it is: straight-up perversion, no self-control, and the type of reckless lifestyle the elites just love to weaponize when somebody stops playing their little game. But let's catch you up real quick, just in case you missed a piece of the chaos. On Sunday, April 20th, everything got way messier when news broke that a woman going by Jane Doe slapped Shannon Sharpe with a heavy lawsuit out in Nevada. She's accusing him of assaulting her multiple times during a relationship that supposedly kicked off after they met at a gym in LA back in 2023. Jane Doe ain't moving alone either. She's being backed by Houston's own Tony Busby, the same high-powered lawyer who just made noise, filing a bunch of lawsuits against Diddy's alleged victims, and even tried to go after Jay-Z. Now he's putting Shannon in his crosshairs too. According to the lawsuit, Jane Doe says everything started out consensual, but quickly went dark. She claims Shannon, who was 54 at the time, met her when she was just 19, and immediately started chasing her heavy until she finally agreed to kick it with him. But once they got casual, Jane Doe says the vibe shifted fast, accusing Shannon of treating her like she was nothing more than an object. Jane Doe's accusations get even crazier from here. She claims Shannon choked her, threatened her life, secretly recorded their private moments, and even shared those recordings without her knowledge or permission. She also says Shannon told her some real disturbing stuff, like wanting to do things to her so that no other man would ever want her again. And it doesn't stop there. According to the lawsuit, Shannon somehow managed to sneak into Jane Doe's apartment complex without her even knowing or giving him the green light. Things get even darker when Jane Doe describes a time Shannon allegedly snapped on her. And she says there was a gun clearly visible during the whole mess. The lawsuit says Jane Doe got so terrified she tried to share her location with friends using her iPhone, just in case things went left. But the second Shannon noticed what she was doing, he allegedly grabbed her by the neck and warned her straight up, "If you ever do that again, I will effing kill you. After that, Jane Doe claims she tried to pull away from Shannon, especially after that messy IG Live moment last September when Shannon accidentally went live while hanging out with another woman named Michelle. But according to Jane Doe, Shannon just wouldn't leave her alone. She claims that on October 6, 2024, Shannon forced her to perform an act on him while holding her down, even as she was sobbing. And it didn't end there. Jane Doe says Shannon raped her again after that, and then attacked her a second time during another incident that allegedly went down in January 2025. In the lawsuit, it's written loud and clear. They say Shannon Sharpe isn't just some sports legend. He's being painted as something way darker. They call him a narcissistic individual who's been using his fame, power, and influence for years to manipulate, control, and dominate women. Jane Doe says she's stepping up to put an end to all this alleged abuse, and she's coming for justice, demanding a jury trial and $50 million in damages. As soon as the lawsuit dropped, Shannon clapped back fast. He released a statement through his lawyer, Lanny Davis, blasting it all over social media. And in that statement, Shannon didn't just deny the claims, he exposed Jane Doe's real identity, saying her name is Gabriella Zinga. Turns out Gabriella's already got a following online, especially on OnlyFans and Instagram, where she goes by She Is Carly. But wait, it gets even crazier. In his statement, Shannon didn't just deny the accusations, he tried to flip the whole story by pulling out some text messages he claims were sent by Zuniga. And these texts were wild, super graphic. But here's the crazy part. Instead of making Shannon look better, it made everything way worse. Fans were already side-eyeing him hard for messing around with a 19-year-old while pushing 50 plus. And now they're giving him even more heat after learning he's into race play too. In the text that Zuniga allegedly sent, she dropped some heavy lines like, I want you to put a big black baby in me and you better crave it because you're gonna be stuck with it for life. The drama just kept getting messier. Shannon's lawyer fired back, saying, Zuniga's lawsuit is nothing but a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. They also claimed the lawsuit is packed with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations and promised it's not going to succeed. But that's not all. The lawyer hinted that Tony Busby, Zuniga's attorney, might be planning to drop a video showing Shannon and Zuniga together, trying to twist a consensual moment into something way darker. Meanwhile, Shannon's scrambling to get ahead of the story, insisting everything that went down between him and Zuniga was part of a grown, consensual relationship full of role play, wild language, and fantasy setups that Zuniga specifically asked for. Shannon's lawyer came out swinging, saying straight up that Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lie of rape, and he refuses to bow down to what he calls an outrageous blackmail attempt. But it didn't stop there. Now they're claiming the audio recording Jane Doe dropped was heavily edited by Zuniga to make Shannon look way worse than what really went down. At the same time, Shannon hopped online, dropping his own video where he blasted the whole lawsuit as a straight-up shakedown. He even threw shots at lawyer Tony Busby, accusing him of targeting black men and pointing out how Busby's case against Jay-Z crashed and burned. Shannon said Busby's just trying to spin the whole narrative through the media and promised he's coming for both Busby and Zuniga with a defamation lawsuit. But just when it seemed like Shannon was fighting back strong, things got even messier. Shannon's own lawyer had to admit that earlier this year, Shannon actually offered Zuniga a $10 million payout to make everything quietly disappear. So now fans are stuck wondering if Shannon's calling Zuniga a liar, why was he ready to throw $10 million at her to shut it all down? If Shannon really believes it's all made up, fans are asking, why didn't he just file a defamation lawsuit from the jump instead of trying to throw millions at her to stay quiet? And of course, Tony Busby didn't waste a second clapping back. He went straight to Instagram saying Shannon's desperate move proves he's scared that real evidence is about to drop. Busby posted, on one hand, Mr. Sharpe and his lawyers claim that the case filed by Jane Doe is meritless. Yet on the other hand, they now have disclosed that Mr. Sharpe offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing not to file her lawsuit. That is a true statement. He confirmed Jane Doe was offered that $10 million bag to settle, but she straight up rejected it and decided to take the fight to court. Busby also accused Shannon's team of trying to discredit and dox Jane Doe and said they're coming after him too, just like he expected. But he made it clear, He's not backing down, and they're ready to go all the way. And just when you thought this circus couldn't get any crazier, new reports dropped claiming Katt Williams allegedly tried to pull Shannon aside and warn him multiple times about his wild lifestyle and lack of self-control. Katt Williams supposedly warned Shannon over and over, telling him straight up that his own personal choices would be the weapon the higher-ups could use to destroy him. And looking back, it's clear Katt wasn't just talking. He knew what was coming. Over the years, Shannon's name has been tied to all kinds of messy allegations, from whispers about him being on the DL to rumors that he leaked his own private tape just to shut down the gay talk. But after Shannon gave a platform to folks like Katt Williams and Monique, two big voices who aren't scared to call out the industry gatekeepers, it seems he ended up putting a huge target on his back. Even though Katt reportedly told Shannon again and again to clean up his act before it was too late, Shannon brushed it off like it was no big deal. Now it looks like all that bad judgment is blowing up in his face. Between getting tangled up with a 19-year-old OnlyFans model and the whole messy race play situation, the higher-ups didn't even have to work hard. Shannon's own reckless moves gave them all the ammo they needed. That's why a lot of fans are saying they don't feel bad for him. He should have listened to Katt and stayed far away from OnlyFans models and that whole shady Hollywood trap. Unlike Katt Williams, who keeps his business private, stays in his own lane, and skips out on all those shady industry parties, Shannon was out here moving reckless, and almost 60 years old while doing it. Fans are pointing out that even if Shannon didn't commit any crimes, and the industry really did come after him to punish him, he still handed them the ammo on a silver platter. Nobody forced him to chase after a 19-year-old at his big age, or to get wrapped up in race play fantasies. Even if he was a target, Shannon made himself an easy one by not having discipline or basic morals. One fan even said, "The more that comes out about the Shannon Sharpe situation, the more I'm looking at Shannon Sharpe sideways. Man is a damn weirdo messing with a 19-year-old at 54 years old and into race play." Award-winning journalist Ernest Owens didn't hold back either, writing, "A 54-year-old black man was engaging in race play with a 19-year-old white girl. I'm not supporting Shannon Sharpe. Period. The end. It's legal, but it's also disgusting." And someone else chimed in too, saying, "Time and time again, Shannon Sharpe just continues to prove Katt Williams' point. You have an unnatural allegiance to losers." I mean, that's enough about what they're saying. Now let's hear your take on all this madness. Do you think Shannon Sharpe is really getting punished by the higher-ups just for giving a voice to people like Katt Williams? Or did he completely fumble his own bag by moving reckless and refusing to tighten up when he had the chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't sleep on the next video. It's about to get even crazier.